Good morning. This is Jennifer again from the Rolling Stone blog. Today I'm going to be making peach and blueberry scones for Emily. Emily is a fan and she needs peach and blueberry scones, so I'm going to show you how to make that. I'm also going to tweak the recipe a little bit because Emily lives in a house where somebody can't eat dairy or nuts. So, although I will put the recipe on my blog for anybody to use, I'm going to be using soy milk and Earth Balance margarine today. It's lactose free. Both of those are great for vegetarians if you got vegetarian friends out there. And I can't use, just to verify, almond milk, cashew milk, anything like that because her mother can't eat nuts, so she can't do the nut milks. Sure, rice milk may work, but I do know she likes soy milk, so we're going to use soy milk. It's also January, and we're not going to be able to find fresh peaches here. So your options then are dried, and I'll tell you, if you try to look for dried peaches and blueberries, if you live in a metropolitan area or maybe a very foodie-inspired area, you will find it, but it's going to be expensive. So then your other options are canned or frozen. You can use canned. If you do use canned peaches in particular, rinse them off, pat them dry, and you can substitute it for this recipe. I'm going to be using frozen. I like frozen. To me, it's closer to fresh. So we'll use frozen, and we're going to try to make some delicious scones for Emily. And because Emily happens to be local, I am actually making them for her family. So today, later on, I'll be giving them to her mother or sister, whoever I see first, and they will bring them home so Emily can sample test these and perhaps leave a comment if you like it or not. And I do want to say, I'll leave her to comment. Emily is a great makeup artist. She's only 14, but she can turn you into a zombie like no one's business. So she's considering that for the future. On top of it, she has a very beautiful voice. She's a lead singer to a local rock band at this music school that my son goes to. So that's how I know Emily. Beautiful voice, very talented. Look for her in the future. In the meantime, let me pause this and get the camera in position. Remember, I'm a one-person act here. And start making these scones for Emily. Okay, everybody, I'm back into position. Like last week, I've got some sifted 2 cups all-purpose flour. If you happen to be in England, Australia, or Canada, plain flour is what I'm using. Cake flour I find to be a little too delicate for scones. They kind of need to handle what you're putting into it, like the fruit or the chocolate or things like that. We are also going to add brown sugar, a ½ cup. Now, in case Emily tries to recreate this, or any of you, if you don't have brown sugar, you can use regular white sugar. It really doesn't matter, but the brown sugar is going to give it a more intense flavor. Brown sugar is really just kind of some white sugar with a little molasses on it. And if you notice, it's in like chocolate chip cookies. It gives it a more deeper, richer flavor. So we're going to put that in here. And I'm mixing it up because, you know, I'm using a whisk. You can use your fingers. But, you know, brown sugar can kind of lump. So I want to make sure that's in there. We're also going to put ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to put a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of salt. We're going to mix that around and make sure it's just all incorporated. And what will it look like? Like flour, but maybe a little, you'll notice the cinnamon in it. We are now going to add, I'm doing this all by hand this week because not everybody's got a mixer and not everybody's got a scone pan. I was telling Emily about that yesterday. So we're doing it a little different. That's my ½ cup of Earth Balance. You can use butter. You can use coconut oil. We didn't talk about that last week. Coconut oil's fine. You just need a stick of or half a cup of, what do you call it? Yeah, fat to add into there. You're gonna rub it in there. Like I said, I'm sure you guys don't have, everybody doesn't have a mixer. And you have to think, when they first came up with scones, they didn't have that. So they used their fingers. The heat of your fingers helps break down the fat easier. So, and so that you'll just keep mixing it until it looks like breadcrumbs. And then that's ready to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly wash my hands because I got this all over my fingers. And we're going to do the next step. Next step would be, I like to add my fruit in now. So we're putting in, because she's such a big fan, we're going to put in a cup of blueberries and a cup of chopped peaches. And we're going to toss that around and have the flour mixture coat them. I find it easier to put the fresh fruit in now so that the flour can coat it, and then it's more evenly distributed in the recipe. Whereas if you do it after the fact, I find it's hard to put the berries or any fruit in there when the dough is already sticky. So we are going to now add the milk. In this case for Emily, we're doing soy milk. Now, if anybody wants to get crazy and try something new, I know we all like what we like. If you do, now remember, it's never going to taste exactly how it would, you know, with the different ingredients. But it's, you know, sometimes, like in Emily's mother's case, she's got to do it. Other times, it's an ethical taste and it's worth it. So, you know, never be afraid to, you know, sample around and try substitute some ingredients here. So we're going to mix this together until we get to a stiff ball. With your hands, it is slower than the mixer. And then we are going to roll our scones out this time and use a cookie cutter. You can also use, get this, a glass. I mean, it's round. Why not, you know? And so you can be creative in the kitchen. You don't have to have all the fancy supplies that you see the chefs have, or like I did last time with my mixer and my scone pan. You don't have to buy a scone pan. I just make scones so much, it's easier. Okay, let me get this going. I'm going to pause it. Forgive my doughy hands, and I'll show you the next part. Okay, I've rolled out my dough. Let me put you in a better position here. There you go. I rolled out my dough. It's probably about a ½ inch thick. I'm just using a cookie cutter. This one happens to be 1.5 inches across. You can use glasses. We're making small ones because it's for her whole family, and that way she's got plenty to share. And just go around, just like you would do with cutout cookies at Christmas time. And just go ahead and make a variety of scones and put them on a lightly greased, you can use a cooking spray pan. We're going to put it in a 400-degree oven this time, and we're going to cook them for about 12 minutes, okay? And I will show you what it looks like after that. Well, they're finished. I sample tasted it, and to give you the perfect view of it, I'm going to post a photo. And then, of course, there's going to be a link back to my blog with the recipe. They turned out well. I hope Emily likes them. I hope you guys like them. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm new to the video thing, and sometimes it's hard to express what I want when you need something different. So if you have any questions, ask. And if you have any requests, as you see, Emily got her request, you could too. Thanks for watching, and please spread the word.